So I think this is it. This is the last video I'm ever going to make on RD400 carburation. I think I've finally nailed it. The subject here finally behaving itself after God knows how many hours of dicking around with this. I thought I had it. I had gone with the internet's suggestion, the 169. These are 169 P4s. I trimmed that spray bar, for lack of a better word. That's what that doodad on the top of the needle jet is there. Trimmed that down to about 6 millimeters. Knocked off about 2 millimeters from the top of it. I was running the appropriate needles, which are the 5DP7s. This is basically the R5 carburetor configuration. You drill out the air jet, which is what goes into the carb right there at the bottom at 6 o'clock. You can kind of see straight through that bore. This one has the 169 P4 installed. You drill out that little brass ball, you drill out the jet behind it, and then you run the primary type, which is what we have there on the right hand side. And I was running that for a while, and I was feeling pretty good about it. I ran it until I pulled the 1A1 cylinders off, and I slapped these two VO cylinders on. These are the Daytona Special, 79 only in the US, the two VOs. These are actually pretty fucking nice cylinders. The lower exhaust port, they have larger auxiliary transfers. Of course, I had to start fucking with them. I'm doing support work, and I'm probably not going to stop until it's gone way too far. But that's where these are at right now. I raised up the A transfers. Anyway, the way this ties in is I felt like the 169 P4 was pretty good. This setup here, I thought that was as good as it was going to get. I ran these TVOs for a while, and I got used to the sweet, thick, juicy torque, that low-end thrust these things make. The 1A1 just not even close, couldn't compare. Problem I had with the TVOs is I couldn't get them to carburate cleanly at like low throttle openings, below about 1/8 throttle. At a cruise, they felt like both lean and rich at the same time. They were breaking up, sputtering. Screwed around with the jetting for a while. I ended up getting tired of it, and I went back to the 1A1 top ends, which are back in the bike now. Problem was the 1A1 top ends, and I put them back in. I missed the thrust, especially now that I feel how much better these 2VO top ends run as far as the low mid. I was really, man, it felt lethargic. And, what are you going to do, right? So I'm working on porting these things, doing some, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, trying to address the issues I think these have. It's kind of, all the porting in these sucks from the factory. It's all very early 70s. But I really felt like the 1A1s should have run better. So I eventually went back into carburation. And I'm kind of kicking myself here because all the time I spent with these 169s, kind of a waste. I ended up back with the 175 P2s. These are the original. This is what came out of the bike. That's what the 400 had, I believe. Oh, that's a P4. I got P2s in there right now. These probably wouldn't be much different. But the 175 needle jet, as you can see, is a little bit different. It's what's called a bleed type. And the bleed type, this is the original RD400. It's a 175 series, and they have a 5L1 needle jet. The 5L1, as you can see, single taper, just a straight, pretty aggressive taper. You look at the tip diameter, it compares, in that 5DP7's got a 2 taper, so it's got an initial shallow taper, and then it tapers more quickly towards the end. The 5L1 here, which is, again, the original, this is the 400 needle. The 5L1 got the 400. The 350 got the 5I4, which is similar, but it doesn't taper as quickly as the 400 needle. So what kind of got me going on this tangent with the jetting again is, I get on this thing first thing in the morning. It's December right now, and it's butt-ass cold in the morning. Requires choke, of course, to get you moving. But what set me in the right direction here, at last, I'd pull out of the driveway, I'd go take a left, go up my street. It's uphill, so it's you're asking a lot of a cold engine with cold carburetors. But it felt so good with the choke on, all that extra enrichment going through. So I'm thinking, son of a bitch, it's carburation. It's always been carburation. It's still carburation. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, well, the only thing I haven't tried, we go back to these godforsaken 175 needle jets, which I've had nothing but problems with up until just now. The only thing, literally the only thing I have never tried, at least recently, is the 175 needle jet with the drilled out air jet. In stock form, these VM28s have a pressed in, very small, maybe 0.75 millimeter, itty bitty little air jet in there. And the factory had determined somehow, through their infinite wisdom, that that was the optimum configuration for these carbs. I've come to find out that if you just get your drill out and you go to town and you drill through that little brass, not the one you see off here to the left, you drill out the one on the 400. They had one right in here. You can drill that son of a bitch out and you'll see inside of that hole there's a little pressed in air jet. So you keep drilling. You don't stop drilling until you pull a jet out of there. And then once you've done that, there is no air jet. It's just an open, looks like a 2.5 or 3 millimeter hole. And that's what we're running right now. And let me tell you, that is the way to go with these 175 series needle jets. God damn, it runs so good. I've got the torque again. It's almost as good as the 2VOs, which was quite good. But this is how I think I remember the RD400 with a stock airbox. That was the last one of these I had. It was a 77, beautiful red, all original, stock airbox still. And that thing had torque. And I've been trying to find that torque with this motor. This setup is different in that it has a 350 chassis with a 400 motor. So you can't really replicate what I remembered. I can't put a 400 airbox in here. I have a 350 airbox that I got it. It's on my shelf right now. I got to probably get it media blasted and painted. I don't know if that would work, but fortunately it didn't come to that yet. So, I mean, this is still just a uni foam filter on a Y boot, and that's all there is for the intake system. And the carburation has been a fucking battle with that setup. But I think I finally got it. Somehow, all you had to do was drill out the air jets, which I did. I did that a while ago when I did the Dave F mod, which is this 169 series primary type needle jet. I think I did this by accident back in like 2008 because I had a ratty clapped out RD350, way worse than this one. This one's actually decent, but I had it's one of the cool with the purple metallic paint and everything. That thing was a fun bike. But I think I did this by accident with that one because I know I drilled out the air jets, but I'm certain that I didn't buy any parts. I was way too cheap back then to buy any new, carb parts. So I think what I had done previously was what I have done now deliberately. But the 5L1, we got the original 400 needle and the 175 series. This is a common type. This is for the RD350, RD400. I think some of the later, maybe the Banshee used these too. I'm not sure. But the trick to make these things finally work is to just drill out the air jet. It's just that simple. And I'm flabbergasted that I haven't tried that. I've tried, I would guess, probably, if not 100, probably over 100 different kind of carburation configurations, needle jets, cutaway, clip positions, different needles. I was running the 350 needle with the 400 carbs here for a while, and that was the closest I got with these 175. But it still wasn't quite right. But yeah, you end up with these. These guys seem to make better carburation at part throttle and low RPM. And I've been all over the map. I've tried every single. There's no way you're going to get the same low end out of these 169. P2, P4, whatever, the P4s that I'm running, the P2 might work for depending on your setup, but I think the P4s, as these go, this is as good as they get. But it's not the best option. Maybe if you got pipes. I don't have pipes. You see, I just got stock mufflers, which make really good power. I had pipes. I don't know if I could give them up if I had the Spec 2 still. The last bike I had some Spec 2 chambers, and they were really nice. There was a little flat spot in the middle of the, around 5,000. There was a bit of a dip in the torque curve, but the stock pipes here, these guys make buttery smooth power all the way up. Decent peak power. They don't pull as hard that last 7,000 to 8,000 RPM. They sign off a little soon, but man, they make some solid, smooth, usable power everywhere else, especially with the carburation dialed in. I just can't believe it's that simple. I had all the parts here all along. I didn't think, oh yeah, let me put those stupid ass 175 needle jets back in. Now that I've drilled, you know what I was doing for a while? I was putting the air jets back in when I was testing with the 175. needle jets. I can't believe I was doing. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like you wouldn't think they put it in there. I think it all works with the stock airbox. You know, if you have a little bit of a restriction upstream of those carbs, maybe the air jet makes it all work. In this case, we have no restriction. It's just a Y boot, just a uni filter. So, son of a bitch, you know, I'm kind of kicking myself. God damn, it runs good though. I'm stoked. What also, the other thing I like about the 175 series needle jet, these guys, they require a larger main jet. With these 169s, they're definitely much richer. So I was running a 110 main with these. With these guys here, the 175 P2s that I have in the bike, I'm on a 145. And works pretty good. Looking at the plug here, I think the 145 might be a little bit, maybe a little rich. Let's see if I can get a good shot. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little darker brown, but it's safe. You know, next time I'm in there, I'll probably take those 145s out and put some 140 mains back in. But that's the setup. The 175 P2s, which I think is the stock RD400. I bet you this works on the 350 just the same because I've had the same problems with the 350 that I had with the 400. The 175, I think the 350 has like a 175.08 or something like that. But if you got an RD350, don't go to the 169s just yet. Try these out. Drill the goddamn air jets. Don't waste your time like I did. I've been spending, who knows how many hours, thousands of miles of test riding, tuning, tweaking, air screwing, dicking around with clip position, and it was always right here. These 175 P2s for the 400 are a really good fit. The 5L1 needle, I'm running mine on the first clip position down from the top, so it's only one notch leaner from, or no, what am I thinking? No, I think I'm running one up from the bottom. It's only one click leaner from, how do you say this? One click richer from the middle position, I guess would be the best way to describe it. So yeah, one click rich from the full, or one notch rich from the full, from the stock center position. 140, 145 mains, 25 pilots, air screws 2.5 turns out. And the bike runs great. Part throttle's good, the roll-on's good, idle's good. Mileage is to be determined. I just got this stuff in here today. Happy carburation, it's going to be good mileage too. I'm sure it's not rich anywhere. It's finally there. So this is it. This is the pinnacle right here. The Dave F mod, I don't know, maybe for the guys that got you got big carbs, or man, not big carbs. I think he was just doing stock carbs. If you got pipes though, and maybe porting, maybe that's what you want. Maybe the 169 is the way to go. But I don't have pipes. These are stock ported cylinders, cleaned up, port matched. I widened the exhaust ports up a little bit just for kicks because, I was looking for a little more power after that was, again, in the aftermath of the 2 VOs, which are going to be on the back. They're going to go back on the bike eventually, I'm sure, because they run really well for me. I'm looking for a street power band, and those things make a hell of a street power band. But at least the 1A1s, I knew it had more in there, and sure enough, with these 175 P2s, 5L1, 2.5 cutaway slides, which is all stock stuff. This is all stock RD400 stuff. The stock slides, stock needle jet. Yeah, who knew? All you had to do is drill out that damn air jet. Don't bother threading it. And a lot of guys talk about drilling the air jet, tapping it, and then using adjustable air jets. You don't need that shit. Just get the air jet out of there, let it breathe, full bleed, and man, it works great. The stock air jet was too rich. I think that's kind of the epiphany I had here, because I wanted to try the stock carbs, but the stock needle, the 5L1 needle with that aggressive taper, with the air jet in place, was way too rich, and I could never get it to run right. And that was kind of where I started with this. But yeah, of course, it's just like when you lose something, you always find it in the last place you look. This is out of God knows how many carburetor configurations, this is the last one I've tried. So implausible that it would work, having no air jet as opposed to the stock configuration. I might even have some 350 carbs down here that still, I'm not going to dig them out just to show you, but yeah, that air jet's got to go. And that's all you need. Just drill that son of a bitch out, and God, you're going to love it. But yeah, this is it. I highly recommend it. It's finally good. I don't have any holes in the mid-range. I don't have any, it's still a little bit slightly rich. When I'm rolling off the throttle at like 3,700 RPM, it breaks up just the slightest bit there, but man, it's carburation, right? What are you going to do? It's great. It runs good. I'm happy with it. I really think it's hard to say because I've said that before. I thought the 169 P4 was the way to go, but man, this is it right here. So give it a try. It's you already have all the parts, so if you watched my last video and you went out and bought the 169 P4s, I apologize. You're going to be taking them back out. It's not the answer. Better carburation if you're looking for a street power band. 175 P2, which again I think is stock. I think you have one. 501, 140, 145 main. Man, it's good. Try it out. Check it out. Let me know what you think.